All we're gonna use is the power.
Can hit my trailer.
That's by this, because they're trying to push that air. Hey, Sold On RV Life crew, welcome back for part 2 of our Chill Cube air conditioner install. Part 1, if you missed that, you can click it right here. We've got the new unit up on the roof. That's a fun part to watch. And so we'll finish up this install, get it wired up, come inside, do a test run on it. So if you have any comments, questions, concerns, please post them down below, and we'll see you after the intro. All right, you guys. Well, we ran into a little bit of a snag. When we got the unit shipped to us via UPS, the box was pretty banged up on the outside. Actually, I have the cover here and I can maybe show you. So this is the lid. Obviously, it's upside down now, but you can see the, oop, turn you guys the right way. This corner got smacked pretty good. And I mean, the rest of it looks pretty decent, but that corner got smacked. Well, what that did was that looks like it hit the upper shroud. And so all these little tabs that are supposed to be here, all these that are on the ground, they're supposed to be attached to the shroud. And that's what holds this shroud. You can see the crack there. I think there's another one on the other side. And so that upper shroud took the brunt of it. But from the looks of in here, this bottom one is what that bolts to, or screws in right here. Looks like it fared fairly well. I don't see any damage. This was my concern, was this stuff. A little bit of damage here, but it didn't crack anything. And then some of those coil fins. So why am I showing you all this? This is a huge shout out to Etrailers. I called them on the phone. Oh, actually, let me back up. When this arrived, UPS delivered it. When it arrived, we immediately saw the UPS driver, and saw it, said he saw it too, is I took pictures of the packaging. It had been raining, and it was going to rain for a couple of days, so we just got it off the UPS truck and put it in the shop here where I work. And I saw the damage, so I took some pictures, and I immediately emailed Austin over at Etrailers and let him know, hey, we got some damage to it, whatever. But when we go to install it next week, we'll follow up with you. So we took pictures of that, got it up here on the roof. So we took the unit, put it onto a pallet, and strapped it to the pallet. So it's not going anywhere, and it was on the pallet. So that's how we could get it up onto the roof. We got it up here on the roof, and so then I started taking all the rest of the packaging off, and that's when I found some of these broke tabs. So I called Etrailers and talked to Ashley. Very nice, very helpful. And basically she said, I said, hey, I got pictures, all this stuff. She says, okay. We went through and talked about how the upper shroud is damaged, and I think that's the extent of the damage. But we won't know if anything works until we install it and try it. And she's like, just let us know. They were so accommodating, so easy to work with. She's just like, let us know, and if we need to ship you just a new shroud, we can do that. They're out of stock, so maybe a few days, but that's okay. Or they'll ship us a whole new unit. So, and it was pretty much without, no questions asked, is what it seemed like to me. I did take pictures and we got the video for you guys to see, but huge shout out to Etrailer, man. They make it so easy to talk to them, and obviously something like this, and they're just right on it, ready to work with us and get the problem solved. So again, another great experience with Etrailer. So with all that being said, I'll stop talking. We'll get the camera down, and we're gonna see if we can get this puppy on the hole in the roof and start the install, and then see how she runs. All right, well, go from there. All right, well, let's put these. There we go. Hello! Yeah, it looks like just the top shroud got damaged. I don't know how I'm gonna pick this up though. All right, bottom looks pretty good. Don't see any damage here. Bunch of styrofoam. All right. I think we're good there, YouTube. Are we in the right zip code? I don't know. Yeah, I think that's pretty close. All right, I think we got her pretty much in place. We have to go inside to really know, but all right, let's get down inside where Laura's down there filming with her camera as we brought that in and see if we can get her hooked up. So I'll see you in the inside. You guys ready? Let's do it. All right, here we go.
You did a very good job.
Well, we don't know yet.
Wow.
I gotta figure out. Yep, it's gotta come back a little bit. All right. Some foam there. So we probably just need to move this over a little. All right. I think that's it. That's power, neutral, and ground. I believe these two will plug into the ABD. All right.
Is it just supposed to be flush around the outside of it?
Well, it's just gotta be centered. So we center it on the hole, and then when that mounting plate goes up, I gotta go dig out my torque wrench, but you torque these, and I want to say
then it's squashed, yeah.
I don't want to say it's like 40 inch-pounds, but I'll verify that in the manual. Basically, what it is we're looking for a 1/2 inch squish on the foam that runs all the way around, and that's what creates the seal between the roof and the AC unit. And of course, you want it centered. So we may have to look at how the bracket goes on, but it's pretty close right now. And then it's a case of these 3 wires with that distribution block and these 3 wires. Plug in, plug in. That's what I'm seeing. So let's see what we got. Okay, well, let's give me a
tester.
Well, one person said they weren't long enough when he did his, and I was like,
did you measure? Well, I guess it's different than the other
no, these
one.
are plenty long. See, I'm already. That'll hold. I gotta go get the tools.
Well,
Huh?
let's say with those connected to it, now you could probably, can you wiggle it after you've got, I mean, with it, those screws in?
Yeah, I can
You
still,
wouldn't
I can
need it,
still
and then you
reach
can
up here
kind
and so it looks like we're a little kittywampus,
Uh-huh.
but not a lot. And so I think we should be all right, because then as long as I keep feeling around the edges, really, as long as that foam, I mean, we don't want to be off center, but as long as that foam is sitting on the roof around the outside of this cutout, and we get good squish, you know, yeah, we don't want it angled. However, from what I'm seeing, I don't think it's going to make a big, huge difference. I want to say I go to the foam. Anyway, I just wanted to keep that on there for now. We'll get a measurement. We'll look at the destructions.
I'm sorry, but in other videos, I've heard quoted you or specifically saying that instructions are for who?
Highly skilled, trained professionals. No.
I think it was like, what was it you would say? They're for
Rookies?
rookies or amateurs or whatever.
Something.
No.
Yeah. Well, okay. That was yesterday. Today's a different day.
Plus, this
Now,
is like,
all right. So I'll defend that statement. There are a lot of things that we can do where we don't need to, you can glance through and you're like, okay, that's what I figured. I can install this without reading the instructions. However, because there's cutting involved and some changes to things and stuff, you want to make sure that I'm doing it the way that they wanted it done.
well, plus it costs how much?
Yeah. This whole thing.
$1,300.
Yeah, this whole thing shipped to us was $1,264.95, so $1,265.
You want to do it right.
Yeah, so I just, there's little things you want to make sure, like the instructions, you're going to make sure that what, their green wire with the yellow stripe is going to go to, a red wire. Now, I'm not saying that's what you do. I'm just saying if it says that, you need to read it, right? You got to read the wiring schematics and stuff like that. So, yeah, we are listening to a little bit of this, or reading this to get some, but again, it's because I got to put this in, and I have to cut it. And so I need to make sure it's sitting up against what it needs to sit up against in the thing, because there is some foam up here, but then just past the foam is a vent system. Does it go there? Does it go to the foam? Little things like that, you got to get it from the instructions, and I don't have Furrion tech with me right now. So, but yeah, I mean, again, I after all this, I think let's see how many pages are written in English. So there's 22 pages in English. I have not read a full page. So there's my defense of instructions are for rookies. However, we do need to look at where this is supposed to set up against in the wire diagram. All right, you done calling me out in front of the world? Yeah. Put a comment down below. Whose side are you on? Okay, so this is the top that seals the duct work so that incoming air that's cooled doesn't get mixed over into the return air. So this is how it seals the two apart from the bottom up when the mount goes in. So they make them long because we don't know what the distance is going to be because of trailers and roofs and stuff like that. So what we've done is we've measured 2 inches. I'm going to take some painter's tape and put it on here. And so then the outside edge of the tape is what we want to cut. And so then I'll just take an X-Acto knife and try and do a nice straight line. Yep. So this is cold. This is return. Looks like those are going to seam up pretty good.
Good.
It'll squish a little bit, but I think we're good with that.
That's heavy.
So when you install these, you got to center it in the hole from inside, because it's the only place you'll be able to reach out and feel the foam all the way around. So then once you get it centered, and I use the screws through the plate and everything to help me try and get it. And I just walked around feeling the foam all the way around, making sure it was just equal distance, that the screws were going in without binding, things like that. So once you get it in, then they want a 40 inch-pound torque, and that will give you about a 1/2 inch squish on the foam seal, and so that's how you know you've got it torqued down right. And as I tighten this, I can hear it kind of creaking and crimping. So we're just going to kind of, I did a diagonal. I did this one first. It's not torqued. I do this one until it starts to get a little tough. Anyway, now it's going to go all the way around until it's all kind of snug, and then once I finally get that torque, then we'll know we're good. Because 40 inch-pounds isn't a whole lot. So that one's starting to feel snug. We'll come back. Because they say tighten it by hand and then torque it. So that's pretty much what we did.
Come on, okay, here we go.
All right. So it looks like I got the block in. So power from the trailer coming in the block, going to the AC unit to the other side of the block. The ground is in. So now it's a case we got to find a home for all of these, which I think I'm just going to kind of get them and zip tie them up here in the corner. Then plug in the other panels called the ABD.
Why is it an ABD? What does it stand for?
ABD is air duct.
ADB?
Maybe that's it. ADBs, my bad. Air distribution box.
Oh, okay.
Air distribution box.
The air distribution box.
Yep. And so then that'll get plugged in, and we tuck everything out, and then we screw it in, and then we test it and run it.
Woohoo!
And then we get on our emails, and we send all the pictures to Etrailer, because if everything works here and it works correctly, then it's just the shroud that got damaged during shipping. And I've already talked to Ashley again. Ashley, big shout out to you. Thank you. She's like, let us know if it's just a shroud, we'll get you a shroud. If you need a whole unit, we'll get you a whole unit. So those guys are awesome. They didn't even, not even a slightest little balk when I said, hey, something got damaged. So yeah, let me go get some zip ties. We'll get this tidied up and tucked away. Got a lot of power cord. I hate to cut it though. So I think I'm gonna wedge it up here so it's off to the side, leaving this all wide open. So yeah, so let's get this rolling. Oh, I gotta put the electrical cover over this, and there's a little plate that goes on. So I got a little cleaning up to do, and then get these wires out of the way. Yeah, so we'll see you later. What's this for?
Looking good.
Maybe I'll put a zip tie on it just so it looks good. All right. Stand by.
Stand back for the elephant. I'm gonna sneeze. Okay. Oh, you have power.
All right.
Oh, I was nervous. My heart's still beating. Well, obviously it's beating, but no way.
Out at 50 degrees, 49. I think that's what it is.
Okay, now we haven't got it completely hooked up yet. We decided we would test it before
that's
we.
cool. So, does it say auto? Low? I can't read it.
Ooh.
That's low. And a lot of this will get quieted down when we get it sealed up. So that's low.
I can see the dust blowing, so I guess it's. Oh.
Is this set temp? So fan. Medium. High. Yeah, there's a timer. Sleep. Yeah, we get that sealed up. And I don't think all you're hearing is wind. I'm not hearing motor at all. Okay, so we'll wrap it up. The removal and install is pretty straightforward. You know, there's YouTube channels. Now you see ours. So that wasn't too bad. Getting it positioned up there wasn't too bad. You know, getting the 4 screws in to get that crunch, that took a little bit. And cutting that inside duct, or what do they call it? The plenum.
Plenum.
Getting that, because what was happening is it was too tall, so when we were screwing it in, it was flexing, and so you had to take a little finagling for that. Yeah. So really, it wasn't all that difficult. The problem was just the shipping damage, and so it looks like it ends up just being the outer shroud, and it rocked that, and it snapped a bunch of the clips off. but excuse me, no damage inside to the internals of the. It works. It's got so many bells and whistles. Yeah, I don't know. You want to say anything about it, but I mean everything from a dehumidifier to a sleep timer, and I mean like on and on and on. Bottom line though, it blows cold and it's real quiet. So if you're gonna do it yourself, I think you'll be fine. Just have a means of getting it on the roof. That was the only thing that we worried about, and so we were lucky we had a Bobcat with some forks and we got it up there and finished just in time. It just started raining. So we appreciate y'all. Thanks for going along with this and let me ramble on. Yeah, all this bending over's got me kind of sore, so I'm gonna go sit down and crack a cold one or 2 or 6 and wait for the heat to come on so I can turn on the AC. Anyway, you want to add?
You are not cracking anything, and you know it.
Yeah, I don't drink often. Yeah. Anyway, all right. Thank you. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.